All right, we're taking a look at Parkside Bible Church. They didn't specifically request a review, but the company that designed their site was tweeting about it and showing it off, and so I thought I'd take a look. The reason I thought it was worth reviewing is because at first glance it's a great looking site, but as I started looking around, there seemed to be a lot of little mistakes that I'm hoping that by pointing them out, they can fix, and hopefully you won't make the same mistakes on yours. So again, I hate being overly critical, but I'm pretty much got a bullet list of stuff I'm going to go through that probably need to be tweaked here. To start with, got pretty weak page titles. I've done articles on that before. Welcome to Parkside Bible Church. It's decent one on the home page, but as you go through, the page title becomes. Let me click on a page here. Actually, that's another problem. We'll click on this page. The page title is Staff, and the page title is Children. I always say the title should have the name of your church, the name of the page, and your location. So it should say like Children dash Parkside Bible Church dash Watertown, New York. Something. The order can change depending what you think, but I mean, you need to have all that stuff in there. If someone bookmarks this, it's called Children. If it comes up in a Google search result, it's called Children. It's really not much to it, and that has a big impact on what terms you rank for in Google. So they rank better for the word children rather than things like church, Watertown, things that they'll be more likely to rank well for. Another minor quibble, and a lot of sites do this, I can't complain too much, but they don't have their canonicalization set up properly here. When you load up a site, it should automatically put the W's in or automatically take them out. It should always be, it should force it to be consistent. In this case, it's fine without them, and it's fine with them. And that it can cause some minor issues in Google and some of that. Again, not a big deal. But if you go to a site like Google, for example, without the W's, poof, it loads the W's in. So just something to be aware of. Can be a little tricky to fix too, so I'm not going to harp on that too much. I thought the numbers in the nav bar were interesting, and I don't know why they're there. All it seems to do is make the text smaller and fuzzier. So perhaps there's a reason I'm not aware of. Some keyboard shortcuts, I couldn't get anything to work, but maybe there's something there. Also with the nav bar, I can't click on any of these items. They're all just broken. I always feel that those should be pages in and of themselves. Now, actually it looks like some of them are and some aren't, which is even worse. Inconsistent. For a page like ministries that's not, make a page for it that basically just says we have lots of great ministries, including and link to those. Just accept users' default behavior and go with it. Don't try to force them to do something else. Make that a landing page, and it's not that hard to do there. Back to the home page. I thought this was interesting. The time and date just seems like one of the main things you see on the page is the time and date rather than more about the church, which is interesting. Love having the service times on here, but I can't click for any more. You have two services, one contemporary, one's more traditional, or they're both the same, one blended. No idea, but we'll maybe get into that later in the site. But I should be able to click those to get more info on that. I like this little guy. It's pretty cool. One little issue is Sunday school September 6th, and that was yesterday. Well, actually yesterday was September 6th was a Monday, so yeah, that's even more interesting. I realized it was outdated, but yeah, a little off there. So something's kind of wrong with that slide. The actual page it lands on is really pretty solid. Lots of good info, broken up with good white space, all that kind of stuff. The only issue I have here is you talk about room E, room A, room L1. Like, is that a different building? I don't need to know where I'm going here, but really, all in all, it's pretty solid. And you say, please contact Pastor Justin. Okay, I should be able to click to go to a page about Pastor Justin. I'm sure you have info on him on the site. Why can't I go there? There really should be links sort of, scattered throughout here. I do like the contact us everywhere. That's pretty cool. Make it easy to get contacted. Not a huge fan of the little CAPTCHA, but at least, I felt that the burden of spam should be on the church and not on the visitor. However, that looks to be a fairly simple one, and assuming it works, it's not a big deal. Going back to the front again for a minute. Let's see. We covered that thing. These are nice little blurbs here. They all seem pretty good. They all have more info links. Recent podcasts. They're out of date, not real recent, but overall that's arranged fine. And here's some upcoming events. That's pretty cool. I did notice the new to Parkside. We'll come to back to that in a minute. Weather, that thing's got to go. It's just, there's no point, especially again on your home page where every little thing is so valuable. You're putting the weather either where people already know what's going on, or I'm not in the area at all and it's really irrelevant. It's just it's just kind of silly. I don't see the point in that. Maybe someone can explain why that's important or why visitors would find that useful, but I tend to think it's just taking up space and slowing the page down and all that kind of stuff. And then going out further, we have the hosted by alpha sites. I'm assuming you're paying alpha sites for the hosting, so why on earth is their ad here? It's hurting you in Google a little bit to be spitting this outbound link on every page. I don't understand why that is. And then the Coughlin Printing Group that designed your site, again, you paid them, didn't you? If you didn't, and that it could be they've done it, as a thing for your church, that's fine. But if you paid them, they need to get that off there. You're not advertising them. You gave them good money for the site. They need to let you have your own site and don't have that junk in there, cluttering it up, and again, hurting you in Google a little bit there. Going back up, let's see, we'll go into the new to Parkside. This is a pretty good page. This thing's interesting. I'm not a big fan of gimmicky stuff like this, but it's fairly simple. Some of the text gets cut off a little bit. The interesting thing is it seems to be, if you sit here for a minute, probably won't do it now, they just start rolling automatically, which, there it goes. I guess just so you see that they move, but if you're going to give me that, let me control it and read it. And then the other problem here is you again talk about 2 services, and you're very clear which time and what Sunday school classes are available in each. But I still don't know what the services are. I'm leaning more toward they're identical, but I still don't know for sure. And then most of this stuff should be linked to details. Adult Sunday School James. Okay, what is that? What is Room H? I don't know what any of this stuff is, and I can't click on any of it for details. Interestingly, though, you don't give any details about the services, and then down here you should have a pretty good feel for who we are. I don't. I have no idea if I'm gonna wear blue jeans and everyone will point at me for being so casual, or if I wear a suit and everyone will point at me for being too dressed up, or I have no idea what to expect. While this is certainly true, the best thing to do is attend one of our services. That's true for any church. That's pretty obvious. You need to try to explain it better on the site, give us a better experience on your website. If you don't hesitate to call, which is great, throw the phone number in here. I've got to go find it now. It's up at the top. Not a big deal, but come on, it's not that hard to put that there. Let's see. Go into a few of these pages. The staff page, I like this. I love big pictures of the staff. Any pictures of people give your church a human touch are always great. Those are excellent pictures. I'd like to see contact info for them. Let's see, maybe this is. No, it's just tell me when you wrote it. I don't care. Yeah, again, great pictures. I like the thing, but email, phone, Twitter, Facebook. Can I get in touch with these folks at all? And I'd also prefer to see them on separate pages. Give me a list of your staff, maybe a little thumbnail picture of each one. But again, that way, so when you talk about Pastor Justin, you can link directly to his page, and I can see his picture and all that. Even linking to this page, though, would have beat nothing. It would have been pretty good, especially with this small of a staff. That would probably work, but may as well give them all their own separate page, because again, with a small staff, it's therefore easier to build out those 4 pages instead of building out 50 pages for some megachurch. That would be good. Let's see. Yeah, overall, the structure of the whole nav bar, as you start going through the rest, it all is pretty straightforward, especially the ministry and missions. I think those would be 2 areas people would look. I have children personally, so I'd go into children and look. And again, you have this September 6th thing, which I don't get. I hope it's not like from last year or something, because that'd be pretty bad. But children's ministry, you talk about the worship, the things they can do. Again, more links in here would be good. I do like that your brochures, they're PDFs, which of course I'm not a huge fan of, but they're well labeled as PDFs. I think the worst thing you can do is surprise someone with a PDF, just because a lot of browsers have issues if you open them certain ways and people aren't expecting it. So the little PDF icon next to those is great. I'm glad you did that. Let's see. Yes, and the blog, last place we'll go. I have a hard time calling this a blog. This really is more like a bunch of articles, which is fine, but don't call it a blog. A few reasons for that. One, I was digging through the code. I think there is an RSS feed, so I could pull this into Google Reader, but it's not identified anywhere. I would expect a link here. You take the blog, you got to be kicking it out to Twitter, probably to your Facebook page. The ideal use of Twitter isn't just to push out your blog entries, but it's a start. It gives me a way to follow your blog, and so I would recommend doing that. And then even worse, a blog by nature is sort of a social tool. You write entries and people can comment, And I can understand when churches like to pre-moderate comments. You submit a comment, it doesn't show up till they approve it, and that's fine. I can sort of go both ways on that, but I can see it. But here, there's not even an option for it. No comments, no nothing. So yeah, I would call this like news articles. If you want, I think a pastor blog is great. I don't think that's what you really have here, and I think you should. So that's really about it. I mean, a lot of these problems exist on every page. You got these silly links down to these folks here in the weather. I mean, this is a prime real estate. This is where you can be showing off, a little like box with your Facebook fans, or a link to your Twitter, or I don't know, shortcuts to your little pictures of your staff, or just other pictures from the church. I mean, there's really not a lot of pictures on the site, of your church. You've got the one Sunday school one sort of shows a person. Get connected sort of shows some people. And then really, I think the only other picture of any people on the whole site is the staff, which those are great pictures, but you need a whole lot more because they're not the whole church, I don't imagine. So there you go. I hope that's helpful. Again, I don't like to be so critical, but I'm hoping that these tips will help improve the site and help any other church that's watching to improve their own. So thanks.